There's a psychological trap that keeps people broke for their entire lives. And the terrifying part is, it has almost nothing to do with how much money they make. You can give this person a raise. You can give them a bonus. You can even hand them $10,000 in cash right now. And within a few months, they'll be right back where they started. Broke. Not because they're bad with numbers. Not because they're lazy. Not because they don't want more. But because somewhere deep in their mind, there's an invisible ceiling. A number they never consciously chose, but always return to. Psychologists have a name for this. They call it the financial thermostat. And once you understand how it works, you'll start noticing it everywhere. In your own life, in your family, maybe even in yourself right now. Let me show you how this trap actually works. Imagine two people. Both grow up in the same neighborhood. Both start with nothing. One of them becomes wealthy. The other stays stuck paycheck to paycheck for 30 years. What separates them isn't intelligence. Studies on lottery winners prove this brutally. The majority of people who win massive jackpots, enough money to be set for life, are broke again within 5 years. 5 years. To burn through millions. How does that happen? Because money doesn't just sit in a bank account. It sits in a mind. And if that mind was never rebuilt to hold it, the money finds a way to leave. Not through one big mistake, through 1,000 tiny invisible decisions that all lead back to the same comfortable number. This is where it gets interesting. Your brain doesn't actually care about being rich. Your brain cares about being safe. And safety, to your subconscious, means familiar, predictable, known. If you grew up watching your parents stress over bills every single month, your nervous system quietly absorbed a belief. This is what money feels like. Tight. Stressful. Never quite enough. And here's the part almost nobody talks about. When that same nervous system suddenly experiences more money than it's used to, it doesn't feel like relief. It feels like danger, unfamiliar, unsafe, wrong. So what does your mind do when something feels wrong? It fixes it. It brings you back to what feels normal, even if normal means struggling. This is why so many people unconsciously sabotage their own progress the moment things start going well. A sudden urge to buy something unnecessary right after a big paycheck. A strange resistance to saving, even when saving is easy. An argument that conveniently drains the bonus you just received. It doesn't feel like sabotage in the moment. It feels like a completely normal decision. That's what makes this trap so dangerous. It's invisible from the inside. Now, here's where the story gets deeper. There's a well-known psychological experiment where researchers gave two groups of people the exact same amount of money to manage. One group had grown up in financially secure households. The other had grown up constantly worried about scarcity. Same money, same opportunity, completely different outcomes. The scarcity group, without realizing it, made faster, more impulsive decisions, spent quicker, saved less. Not because they didn't understand money, but because scarcity had trained their brain to grab value now, before it disappears. Because in their formative years, it often did disappear. That single early pattern, repeated over years, became an identity. And identity is far more powerful than income. This is the real, uncomfortable truth. Broke isn't just a bank balance. Broke is a story your mind keeps replaying about who you are and what you deserve. And stories don't change just because circumstances do. Think about someone who suddenly starts earning significantly more than before. Instead of feeling proud, some part of them feels like an imposter, like they don't belong at this new level. Like any day now, it'll all fall apart and reveal they were never supposed to have this much. So instead of tolerating that discomfort, they unconsciously return the money to the universe. A bigger house they can't really afford. A car to look the part. Lending money they shouldn't. Not from generosity, from an unconscious need to get back to the number that feels like them. This single mechanism is why some people can earn a fortune multiple times in their life and lose it every single time, and why others with modest income quietly build wealth for decades because their internal number was set high enough from the beginning and their behavior simply matched it. So if the real ceiling is internal, not external, the obvious question becomes, can it actually be changed? Yes, but not the way most people try. Most people attack the money problem with more effort, work more hours, chase a bigger salary, hustle harder. And for a while, it works, until the thermostat catches up and pulls them right back down to their internal set point. This is why some people escape one financial crisis, only to recreate a new one a few years later, in a different form. The actual shift doesn't happen in the bank account. It happens earlier than that, in the identity. The people who permanently break out of this cycle usually do one specific thing differently. They stop asking, "How do I make more money?" and start asking a much more uncomfortable question. What does my current relationship with money say about what I secretly believe I deserve? That question is uncomfortable because it removes